Ro Russell is best known as one of the founding fathers of the Canadian AAU scene. Now he is building something new, a boys and girls basketball program at Crestwood Preparatory College, a private school that can provide resources to both their coach and their players.
It's a great job. We have great resources, great support systems, and it's very, it's structured. I can be here and do my thing for the next 10, 20 years and just, keep on doing what we're doing and keep being successful. So it's a great place for longevity.
We're not looking at being, the top dog for a year or two. We're looking at longevity. So we want this to be a program that we can look back on. It's been going for 20 years, 30 years. We know that these kids are looking to go to top level post-secondary schooling, and we don't want anyone going there unprepared. Crestwood is an academic institution, and we've always been an academic institution for 40 years. So we're going to give these kids, through basketball, a way to come to a high-end private school.
The first time I visited here, they're like, okay, this is no joke, and not just coming here to play basketball and then leave. You're gonna get a good education, we're gonna stay on top of you. You just have to learn how to manage your time well. When you're on the court, you're just focused on what you're doing there, and then when the game's done, you go home, do your homework. You just focus on everything you do. I think it's special. You're setting the foundation for many years to come. Like our young guys, like Elijah Fisher, they'll look up to us, and we'll see where they end up.
Crestwood is a great school because 99.9% of kids graduate to go off to university, and they have high academics. It teaches me more how to be more of a gentleman, be more respectful.
We want guys to be academically at a level that they can go in and it's not a shock to them. We want them to be used to the university type level of standards. It's about building a well-rounded person from academics, character, and athletics.
The school's past history with international students has allowed players from other countries to help jumpstart the basketball program, including Franco Miller of the Bahamas.
No, I never thought that I would ever be up in Canada playing basketball. At home, there's not as much opportunities as there are here. So the best thing to do if you want to further your education and you want to let your sport take you wherever it takes you is to get out and get as much opportunity as you can. This is definitely preparing me for the next level because it's a high-level basketball training and high-level standard in the classroom, so it gives you best of both worlds.
I'm from New York, and I went to school in Springfield Gardens. It's in Queens, New York. All the teachers know my name. Even if I don't have them, they all know my name. If I went to a school, it would be a month in, and some of them still wouldn't know my name. I'm developing more in my game and in school. Coach Ro has a great program where we're more of a brotherhood than the team.
Yeah, it brings a big smile to my face to see that things have changed and it's all flipped around to where Americans are coming here. We're offering a great product here now where you get the academics, you get exposure, the opportunity, and with the MPA really growing, the competition is really good now. So all those things are here for them. So it's very, very difficult for them not to succeed.
Sometimes sport becomes so competitive that you can lose sight of what is most important. But for the St. Laurent Express out of Montreal, Quebec, that is not an issue, because the man at the helm of this young team has a firm grasp of perspective, which was born from his arrival in this country almost 30 years ago.
I'm Lebanese originally, so we arrived in Canada in 1990. And I enrolled at St. Laurent. My parents enrolled me at St. Laurent. I used to be called Émile Legault back in the day. So grateful that this great country took us in, and this is our homeland now. But the struggle, they have these things on Facebook, the struggle is real. The struggle was real, man. My father's an electrical engineer. He had to drive pizza for a few years, and then he ended up becoming a taxi driver as a 30-year career. My mother, university English professor, waitress. And I tell these kids, I said, listen, man, you see me now, and you say, yeah, coach takes a vacation with his family, this and that. But, coach went through it, just like you.
First year I started playing with my coach, I was kind of scared of him. Then after, I just became like a dad, like a second dad for me. He doesn't just think about basketball, so he thinks about, after, our coach is like a family to us.
Honestly, he's the best coach I've ever had. Can't even lie about it. He's literally the best coach I've ever had. Nobody's ever pushed me like he did. We act as a family, we act as one. If one is in trouble, we're all in trouble. And I don't always think about myself, I think about the others, my teammates, my brothers.
We got a big banner in the locker room that says, it's not about you, it's about the team. So, it's not about you. right? There's a bigger goal here, there's a bigger vision, there's a, you know, whatever it is that you want to call it, it's bigger than the individual.
On top of a coach who has been a decades-long member of the St. Laurent community, the Express roster is exclusively made up of players from the village of St. Laurent. So the pride in their city and province is strong as they continue to build a name and keep their homegrown players in Quebec as long as possible.
Most of our players, like, when they're good, they leave Quebec, so we don't get the respect we really need.
People are mostly focused on Ontario. You don't only have kids from Ontario that have talent. We have talent too. We all play together, honestly. That's what Quebec's about. Moving the ball. We all fight together. We're in this together.
People ask me about Montreal, what's special about Montreal? It's the way that people integrate all together.
History has been made in Canadian basketball.
One hand down, all over the defense. One-hand cockback.
Oh! Bringing the fans to their feet, putting a man in the rim.
Ain't that awesome? Oh my Lord!
Welcome to the NPA on NPH.
Taking a look at the St. Laurent Express out of St. Laurent, Quebec. This is a team that wants to shock the world today. They're taking on a Crestwood preparatory squad that could easily find themselves in the finals. Coming out of the 5 spot, and I say easily simply because this is a team that could have been one of our top 4s right off the bat. And I think that's probably about the 3rd time this year that I've seen Crestwood score a basket 5 seconds into the game off a tip.
I think they got something drawn out specifically for that. And none other than Jacoby Neath back in full flex.
I was told he's at 95%.
Yeah, that's pretty much 100%.
And that's when I looked at Coach Russell and said, well, 95% of Jacoby Neath, and he said exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. 95% of Jacoby Neath means like you're getting 120-30 out of some other guys.
And you put him alongside Franco Miller out of the Bahamas, who was just handed his first team All-Star award for his outstanding season this year, averaging over 20 points per game. Meanwhile, St. Laurent has had a steady incline this season. We're winless until they hosted their own mini session out there in Quebec, and they were the surprise team of that session, Elias.
Yes, they were. They were able to pick up a couple of wins before the season's over. Able to do it on home floor. And keep in mind, this is the youngest team in the league, period. As a collective, class of 2020 and class of 2021, that's what makes up their roster.
Yep. Gideon Dwumfor, somebody who stepped up his game. There's Trayvon Minot, ready to join the Canadian University basketball ranks. Franco Miller, man, he's so smooth from range. It's the thing that makes this Crestwood team so special can also be their downfall. Their electric athleticism. They can get out to 20 and 30-point leads in the flick of a switch, but they can also turn that switch off so quickly and really rest on their laurels and allow teams back into games.
You got to bang on, Jay. Should be an analyst, man.
I just like to talk ball, and especially with the NPA being able to be a part of this league from day 1 of this season. I've been able to kind of really get my finger on the pulse of all these different teams and programs and the special coaches we have here. 2 very special coaches here on the sidelines, and both of them legendary in their own aspect, with Roe Russell of Crestwood. Jacoby Neath in transition, don't jump with him. Ben Datro, smart move, tried to get the hands in. But Roe Russell obviously has his own background at the grassroots level.
Well, he's been invested in the game since I was a kid. I've known the name forever, and then I got to know him over the years. And just the time he's invested into a lot of these guys. He's helped so many players get to the next level. He's done so much player development one-on-one. He's worked with some of the best Canadians that there is. Tristan Thompson, Corey Joseph to list off.
Did you make him European, Corey Joseph?
No, I was trying not to burp in between. I was trying to be polite.
We got to eat on the fly. We got to drink on the fly here. We're back to back with you. And then on the other side, Coach Akram Slyman of the St. Laurent Express. He has been with St. Laurent. He was a player in the 90s, then became a coach, and has been a coach there for 20 years. And now will be stepping away after this season to move into his second love, to be a restaurateur. Shutout Omnivore in Montreal. But he'll be handing off the reins of this program. Timeout for Roe Russell on the floor. We'll take a quick break and we'll be back.
NPH Scouting Service. The NPH Scouting Service is another platform for exposure with a network of over 300 coaches and scouts from some of the most recognizable brands and programs. Our scouts are constantly evaluating talent to ensure accuracy and credibility. NPH National Showcase Circuit. From the grassroots level to the pros, a system has been developed through the National Showcase Circuit. North Pole Hoops hosts 3-day camps in Canada's major basketball markets that focus on exposure, skill development, and character development. Top performers go on to receive athletic scholarships in Canada and the United States. There are currently over 200 Canadian men and women playing at the NCAA Division I level. Canada's next top talents are identified at NPH's National Showcase Circuit. NPH National Showcase Circuit. From the grassroots.
Is it something that I've done again? Say what?
Here's Campbell, look out, one hand down.
Seeing is believing. Create your very own mixtape that showcases your top highlights and skills. And strengthen your recruiting status with a direct video for coaches and scouts. Available at all NPH covered and hosted events nationwide. Email mdotto@northpolehoops.com.
We're back live. Ben Datro with the rock. Gideon Dwumfor now onto the wing. Ben Datro. You're going to see Ben Datro taking the ball at the rim. If he's going to listen to what his coach wants, that's what Ben Datro is going to do. He's going to take the ball at the rim because that's what he needs to do to be effective. And man, that kid can fly. He just fell in love with the jump shot as this season progressed. And his coach took him aside and said, if you're going to play for me, I need you to take this ball to the rack. And Coach Akram is somebody you listen to. Officials have been good here today. Down low. I really like this matchup of Trayvon Minot and Luis Pacheco. Pacheco throws me off, man. Every time I see him, he has a different hairstyle.
He's one of those under-the-radar dudes.
Yeah.
You know, coming from New York.
Straight out of Queens. Did we just see a nutmeg from Ben Datro?
We did. We did. I can't believe he attempted that.
He's got some swagger about him, which he did not have in the New Year's session. Hey, man, I know we're only 3:15 in, but St. Laurent is showing what we said from the beginning. They're here to shock the world.
If they could just stay in it.
That's all they got to do.
You know, give themselves a fighting chance all the way through. Play high-energy defense the same way that Crestwood is picking up on them three-quarter court.
Minot, soft-spoken individual off the court, a beast on the court. Look at the size differential. Jacoby Neath. Can't believe this kid's a point guard. It's the last time I'll say that. It's been a season-long, ongoing.
You mentioned Jacoby?
Yeah.
I mean, we had this huge debate about him yesterday, and you know, AJ Lawson is the most obvious one. He's an NBA prospect. You know, he's gotten a ton of publicity and made it to NBA Basketball Without Borders, All-Star, and all that. Now I look at Jacoby. And a healthy Jacoby, to me, is an NBA prospect because he is definitely a high major when we're talking about, you know, the biggest conferences in the NCAA. So if he's going to be playing at that level, a lot of people don't know this yet, but in my opinion, I think he's going to make the junior national team this summer. And when
for the U18s.
U18s.
Okay, gotcha.
So
how old is Jacoby Neath?
He is 17 at the moment. Exactly.
For those that don't see, I just shook my head and blinked my eyes. See, when you get to my age, all these kids seem the same age. They're young.
Yep.
So and the classes always mess me up because, you know, you can reclassify, etc.
Well, I don't want to get to your age, wherever that is.
Oh,
Jay.
You're coming up, buddy. Not far behind, my friend. And there is Franco Miller up top, Jacoby Neath. Batman and Robin. And you hear Ro Russell saying, take that. The bucket getter from the Bahamas, Franco Miller. Tune it in on your FM dial. Franco is a special player. And when you put him alongside a healthy Jacoby Neath, would not want to see this team in the next round.
Yep. Yeah, this is an entirely different squad from what we've seen all season long, and that's why you got to fear the Crestwood Lions. There's Jacoby on the breakdown. That is what I'm talking about. When he's got so many things that transfer to the next level. He could shoot from the three-point line. He could break you down, and once he's got double coverage and he's got two defenders coming at him, the scoop, the drop-off passes, all of that is already in line. This could be the starting Canadian point guard for the national team.
It's just purely on size alone. As I mentioned, the ongoing joke we've had about, you know, this kid's a point guard, and I mean that purely from a complimentary standpoint, that I see the build on this kid, and he has all the skills to be a one, obviously. Yeah, but I mean, if I walked into a hallway and saw this and he told me he was a basketball player, I'd immediately say, oh, you're a shooting guard.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying about it.
The body type, I mean, and if somebody told me he was a football player, I wouldn't be like, no, what are you talking about?
Absolutely.
I mean, he's got girthy shoulders.
Yeah.
He's got a great frame on him, and as he continues to build that, I mean, excellent defense there.
Emery Demirsu picking up the foul. Got to shut out Ro Russell in the three-piece.
He's looking fresh today.
I called it. Saw him sitting in the benches. Said three-piece. Ben Datro comes up with it.
Ben Datro's a different player, man.
This is the Ben Datro I've been waiting. Remember, I've been telling you.
That's the one you told me about when we came into this year.
Yep, and I've been waiting to see him make a splash.
And here's another kid, Trevon Thomas, who has grown leaps and bounds in the last 3 months. You want to talk about playing with confidence.
Well, he makes the most of whatever minutes he gets. That's what you love about him. Like, if he's on there for 2 minutes, he's going to give you 2 steals, 2 rebounds, and something else. You know what I mean? He's always going to find a way to get involved.
Manuel Senni missed, gets back for that loose ball. The Express are here to ball out, man. They're going to try to overcome the size differential and the age differential. Timeout for the Express. 4:26 left. The lead's up to 7. Stay with us. We'll be back. Our final game of day 1.
For any inquiries and special filming requests, exposure starts here.
Yet again, a 10-point advantage restored for Team Blue. Oh! It's Judy Georges throwing it down!
Welcome to the NPH live broadcasting experience. Allow our team of video technicians to capture your event in high definition. Streaming directly on all NPH media platforms. Up-to-the-minute live game coverage featuring professional commentators and analysts.
Tip in! No good! 2 seconds to go! Oh!
Commercial spots available to promote and market your brand, event, or product. Enjoy the ultimate way to catch the game when you can't.
That man from Quebec can fly!
Exposure starts here. We've traveled across the country and back. 6 years running. Canada's basketball talent blossoms right before our eyes. From coast to coast.
Ben Datro bringing it up for the Express, working hard on Franco Miller. Senni. Dwumfor, who has been outstanding for Saint Laurent in the last couple of months. And this team, Andrew Keogh.
They look focused, man. This is a different squad.
Absolutely. And I know all season, even when they were struggling, they all kept saying to a man, do you know how much this league is going to help us when we go back to Quebec?
Yep. Well, they're playing against older competition as well, more size, more maturity, and it's going to force you to either step up or, you know, bow down and get out.
Look at Ben Datro breaking him down, sent back, but an out-of-bounds call. Luis Pacheco, straight out of Queens, swatted it off his teammate, who was out of bounds. Muka Soare and Roosevelt Auguste check in for Senni and Minot. If you tuned in early enough for our little pre-game show, you saw our feature on Saint Laurent. If you haven't had an opportunity, check it out on our YouTube site. Very special program they have out there, full of special people going above and beyond X's and O's, and right now they're within 2 points. As the lowest seeded team at number 12, the Saint Laurent Express are within 2 points here in the opening quarter. Keogh, kick back out, Dwumfor, drive. We got a ball game, guys. Looking down at the Crestwood bench, and they all kind of have their eyes wide open, saying, okay.
This big dogs are coming back in.
This wasn't the team that went 0-4. Look at that. The Express bench is ready.
You got yourself a game here.
Jumper, Demirsu. This kid can go, you know, a game without a point. Other times, he can hit shots like that Those are shots that he practices. Those are shots that he can hit.
He's been pretty productive in the minutes that he's gotten.
Yeah.
I mean, he's known for the most part as being a specialist, as a spot-up shooter, but then he can create for himself using that step-back, sidestep, you know, the pull-back dribble into a jumper. He's got some stuff to him.
Well, I hope Minot and Senni enjoyed their 35-second break, because they're right back out there. LBA and CTA are still here in the gym taking in the games. You know, Ro Russell, one of the most honest coaches when it comes down to talking about his players. I've spoke to him consistently throughout the year after bad losses, after big wins. Very, very blunt assessment of his team, and you know, can always find positivity and something to work on. And the loss against TBA, where they blew 2 20-point leads, he said, "I'm glad it happened now. It gives me an opportunity to explain to my guys what the problem with the way they play is." And he'd rather have that happen 2 weeks left in the season than right now. Oh, Senni passes it off his teammate's shoulder. Minot battling in the lane. Minot is really needing to, he takes on 3 or 4 Lions every time he gets into the paint. I love saying that. It gives you the mental picture that he's actually fighting 3 or 4 Lions. I'm talking to you because my color commentary over here has went silent.
Excuse me while I write something down, JT, something that's going to only benefit you.
Big time SWAT foul called on the follow through on the body. Everything you do benefits me, Elias.
No, I appreciate that.
That's why I'm a part of this crew. It ain't because of the good-looking Mike Dotto.
The newly found wedding singer.
Yeah. Working the mic. Trevon Thomas cashes the first. This is our own little March Madness here. This is our our 12 versus 5. This is our, you know, this is when people at home holding their NCAA brackets are starting to get some sweaty palms. And there's a steal and a basket. Kobe Antwi. And there's the little mistakes that are going to really hurt St. Laurent if they make them. Minot coming through. Changed the shot enough. Crestwood picking up the foul. True words spoken. The assistant coach of Crestwood explaining the foul to Jacoby.
One team I'm really excited to see in this event, man, Central Tech. These guys are fired up. And their first game is against the defending champion. Or sorry, no. The first one actually is against LBA, who advanced earlier today.
One more time. Central Tech will be taking on TBA. Be your Toronto matchup. And then LBA will be taking on Canada Top Flight Academy. The defending champs take on LBA. There's a steal, Senni. Ooh.
LBA, TBA, GTA.
I know.
Come on.
Elijah Fisher, steal and slam.
Young gun, let's go.
Pushing the lead up to 4. Minot pulls it down. Don't want him dribbling if you're the Express. Senni.
Oh, find him. You see Minot there coming down on the left side.
He's good at running the gaps, the big man. Getting to the baseline, picks up the dribble. St. Laurent want to keep this one close through the first. Datro. Get it back. 10 seconds. They're going to hold for the final shot. Down 4. Datro from deep. That had no chance. Four-point lead for Crestwood. 2.7 on the clock. Franco Miller gets it off in time. No good. 27-23 through the opening quarter. A short break. We'll be back. Second quarter action.
NPH events. There's an opportunity to get involved at the ground level. NPH hosts elite level high school tournaments to national club team championships throughout the course of the season. Now is your chance to get involved with the fastest growing sport in Canada with the industry leaders and influencers. Get in the game today and join NPH in growing basketball in this country.
The National Preparatory Association is expanding for Season 3. Canada's only national prep school basketball league is accepting applications from high-level programs from coast to coast. The NPA provides top competition, unrivaled exposure, and every program will have an impact in the growth of the league. We may also be able to provide opportunities for individual players looking to join one of the NPA teams. The team application deadline is April 30th. Email info@northpolehoops.com to start the process for your chance to join a nation inspired. The National Preparatory Association is expanding for Season 3. Job to bring it to the light. No gimmicks, just hard work on the hardwood. Who will step up to the plate this summer? Who will make their game undeniable?
Just to clear it up one more time, that TBA will be advancing to take on Central Tech tomorrow. If you can make it down here to Sheridan College in Brampton, we got some amazing games coming up. And Patrick Emelian was the leading scorer in that game for TBA. Also, an alley-oop finish here, Neath to Miller. These two are on a string. They have some great chemistry that's been built throughout this season. Senny messed up on the inbounds. That's a tough turnover. But I was mentioning Patrick Emelian, also first team NPA All-Star this season after being second team last year. And I mean, we got some college coaches in the house and got some interest.
And based off of his performance today and the evaluations formerly from Central Michigan, they've actually pulled the trigger and offered him just a couple of minutes ago. Just got the news on my phone here. That's awesome, and that's what this event is about. That's what this league is about, creating opportunities for these guys to be seen on Canadian soil. Coaches from the U.S. coming into Canada right here at home to take care of business. Giddy up, let's go.
Elias fired up.
That's what I love it, man. I love it because I would have done some crazy things to have the opportunities that these guys have. And I know that if there's any older viewers that are watching right now that were players and could have had college opportunities, they would have died for something like this.
Franco Miller came up limping after that three ball. Ben Datro. Just trying to take a look here at Franco Miller. I don't know what he caught over there. Hit the three and just backed up and felt something. Hopefully it's just an ankle there for Franco. He's going to try to lace him up again. But yeah, Ben Datro has been what we expected, and there he is with the steal. Staring down Trevon Thomas. I mean, this is an age. These are two guys equal in age, which is rare for the Express in their NPA schedule. Neath gets into the lane, kick out three. Almost got that roll. Every game, we've seen multiple players hit the floor.
Hey, dive. Dive, set it. What? Go cross. Archie, go cross.
Just over a minute and a half into the second quarter. 6-point lead for Crestwood as the 5 seed taking on number 12 St. Laurent. Trevon Thomas, pure from range. Dwumfor, risky pass, pulled it off. Basile gets it up top. Senni, telling you, the Express are confident at the rim right now. This is a completely different squad than we saw 2 months ago.
And they've done their share of studying. They know the personnel on Crestwood and they know what they need to do. They cannot play a half-court game with them. They got to push it in transition.
Good sign for Crestwood that Franco Miller seems okay. Comes in, takes out Trevon Thomas. Nice in the corner. Easily gets to the lane. Wow. He makes it look so easy out there.
Special kid, man.
Along the baseline. Datro to Keogh. Back to Datro. 3 on the shot clock. He's got to get it off. Wow. Bailed out on the foul call. When we did see Datro at Crestwood, I talked to his head coach and just said, you know, it really seems to be in his head. He just doesn't, you look in his eyes and he doesn't have the confidence. And he said, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I see right now,
different dude.
Like complete, and it's in the eyes and in the head. You can see the confidence that he has out there on the floor. And that's contagious, man.
No, it is. It is. And especially when it's coming from your leader.
Yes.
Or one of your perceived leaders.
Yes. Yeah, not an overly vocal leader, but that's even more so, right? I mean, if you're not an overly vocal leader and you're struggling on the floor, suddenly, you know, you don't have much to offer in leadership. But I mean, this kid can get up and throw down. He can hit from range. He can set up his teammates.
Because of his skill level as well with the ball in his hands, his ability to create for himself and for teammates, he's always a threat. He's always going to be a danger. And the defense has got to be on their toes with him because he could beat you off the dribble and slash, or he could stop and pop. Or if he's going to be double teamed, he's got great peripherals to see what else is available on the floor.
That was Luis Pacheco with his 3rd block of the game. Ooh. Even the fact that he caught rim was special there and back the other way. The bucket getter from the Bahamas, Franco Miller, first team NPA All-Star, pushes the lead up to 11. The Express want a timeout. A short break. We'll be back. Second quarter action continues of our final game of day 1.
Everybody on their feet as Canada Top Flight Academy are the first high school aged national champions in the history of Canadian basketball.
We know that it's only going to get harder, especially, everybody's going to be getting better teams, and that it just puts a target on our back. So we know we're going to have to push harder, and every game is going to be a tough game.
This year, we're trying to win it for sure. I feel like we're one of the best in the league.
We're telling our guys, listen, man, you got to be ready to play, compete, because these guys want it.
It's either kill or be killed, on the court, you have to be competitive. You have to have a dog in you, or if not, you're not going to succeed or you're not going to do well in the sport.
Do we play with a chip? We make it so. It's who we are.
If you're going to put it all on the line every night, then you can come play on Central Tech.
Something about TBA is everyone is together, this family-like vibe. There's no questions about it. We have to win. If we don't win, it's a failure. I see it.
Well, Kitchener, we're not really known as a basketball city. Having that underdog mentality is just giving us extra motivation.
Hamilton's really, everyone's trying to prove themselves. Everyone's trying to show that they're better than other people.
Going to nationals and show people that we're not finishing last, we're coming for the championship.
We have...
Crestwood has pushed it up to an 11-point lead. The Express are right on the edge right now of staying in this game. They need a basket. They go to their guy, Gideon Dwumfor, who's been outstanding the past month and a half. Get it back down to single digits. Might not. Good defense. Look how long he is. 10 on the shot clock. Neath on Keogh.
Here's Ben on the break.
Forcing the foul.
It's been a different guy. I'm just really happy to see it, that we got to see a bit of it before the season's officially completely over.
Absolutely.
I got a lot of faith in him, and I got a lot of... I think he's a very promising prospect at the next level. Coaches got to take him extremely seriously. If you're in the NCAA, start building your depth chart around a guard like that. He could shoot it, he can penetrate, he could dish it out, he could dunk on bigs.
Keogh back to Datro. Little mid-range jumpers cash.
Liking what we're seeing from Ben.
When those start going, you know the confidence is high. Again, might not, just disrupting the shot. That was Matthew Nelson. Datro taking it within the trees, didn't get the call. 7-point lead. Express are focused. Nice poke away. Got to be a call on the body. Yeah, called it on Dwumfor. I know might not.
34 to 35. 34 to 35.
Said I was clean, and he's right. It was Dwumfor on the body or on the arm. Sorry. Somachi Agbapu misses the first.
34.
Got the second.
Get up, get
Keogh, ooh, almost dragged the toe. Elijah Fisher back the other way, going 1-on-2. Yeah, that's going to be an offensive foul.
Good defense.
Yeah, incredibly out of control.
31. Elijah, 31. We're 31. 31.
Datro working on Fisher. Fisher ties him up.
And he's trying to, Ben's trying to do a little bit too much breakdown. He's got to just blow by. You're seeing Fisher playing defense very flat-footed right now. And that's one thing with kids that I don't think they do enough, and I think that they'll learn from game film.
Jacoby Neath.
Oh my goodness.
Got it cooking right there. Datro has it now. Battling a bit of a wonky ankle right now is Datro. I think he wanted to sub, but the Express will not give up on D. Keogh to Dwumfor, saves it. Datro knows he's hurting right now. Finds Keogh. Big time shot for the Express. Andrew Keogh is another guy who's found another level of confidence. Express within 5.
Would be a big time shocker if the Express are able to get it done here against Crestwood.
That might be an understatement. And there's Datro down. He's feeling it, whatever he did to bang up that ankle.
And he had to sit out the beginning of the season as a result of that ankle. That's why we haven't seen the true bend that's appearing before us now.
Datro and Minot now getting a rest, down 5. Be interesting to see how long they can keep him there.
That's what I was talking about earlier. You see that? Attracts multiple defenders, and it's an easy dish. He puts his teammates in situations to score at high percentages. That's what you want out of a point guard.
Put it on a platter for Matthew Nelson.
Yep. And St. Laurent is actually shooting it at a very good clip right now. That's what's keeping them in this game.
Oh, yeah. As they do have quite a drop-off when they get to the 8 and 9 bodies on the bench. And that's where they're at right now, as they're stuck 7, and Jacoby Neath is looking to go to work on the smaller and younger Keogh. Kick out. Neath is so good.
And you won't get a facial expression from Neath. That's what he's supposed to do. He knows that's what he's supposed to do.
Dumfor dumps it off, but it's picked off. Thomas, nice look to Nelson. Starting to build that lead now, up to 12. Thomas, all up on Keogh. There was the 45-second Minot and Datro break. Jump ball. It's going to stay with the Express. Both these teams have progressed so well this year, developing these players. Miller from deep. Going back the other way. Datro and Thomas, pair of 23s doing battle right there. Dumfor, back to Datro. Seeing 2 defenders come at him. Dumfor has a wide open Keogh, keeps it himself, and is fouled. Leads at 12 with 1:45 left. Dumfor at the line. Free throws are huge right now for the Express as they cling on to a deficit that is still attainable for them, down 11 right now. 1:40 to go. They want to get to single digits by halftime, but Crestwood also has a type of offense that can push this to 20 in the blink of an eye. There's Neath.
He's so crafty, man.
Yep. He's always a threat. Demirsu, no good. Offensive rebound and putback.
I think on this Crestwood squad, Demirsu and Neath show the best use of fundamentals. And what I mean by that is when they catch off of a swing, their use of a jab, their use of a rip, their use of a pump fake, those are the things that can throw off defenders, and they're such simple things to do. But in today's day and age, because of the way that the game is taught and it's all I'm drilling and ball handling and doing all this stuff, that the use of a simple jab is not executed. And those are the things, if before catching and thinking about putting the ball down, you got to think, okay, how is the defender closing out on me? Which angle is he closing out on me? And which of those fundamentals can I use to break them down? There's Demirsu in limited minutes being super efficient once again, being in the right place.
Leads up to 15 with 45 seconds to go. The Express need to make the most of this final minute, and that's back-to-back turnovers. You're just giving away opportunities of points, and they're not getting the stops that they were getting in the early going. This can get out of hand in a hurry. Keogh with the steal. Gets it to Datro. Ooh, with a little rondo. Shot clock, game clock, same. Oh, shiny dime from Franco Miller, leading to a foul. .9 left in this first half. Got to give it to the Express, man. That first quarter, they were right in this game. This second quarter, Crestwood has really found their stride. But this is a Crestwood prep team that will let teams back into it.
And one of the big things for St. Laurent here is Coach Sleiman cannot afford to go too deep into his bench. So these guys, and Coach Roe Russell knows that, and he's been able to sub in and sub out a lot of guys, and they are gassing the Express. The Express line is turning into a 3-stop, 4-stop, 5-stop shop.
Is that a train reference?
You got it.
Wow. Took me a second, but I got it. 17-point lead for Crestwood. 10-minute halftime. We'll be back at you with second half of game number 4.
I think he's the best big in the league. And then we have the best shooter in the league, Okai. And then we have Josh. I think he's the best low post player in the league. I think when we hit our stride, no one's going to be able to stop us.
Basketball is so global now. Everyone plays, everyone has a passion for it, everyone sees it. And these kids come from all around the world, including British Columbia. 25 years ago, I never would have believed it. But what a difference today.
The East Coast gets overlooked a lot, so I'm looking forward to putting Nova Scotia on the map.
No, Maritimes, we're gritty. The ball on the floor, we're gonna be the first on the ground to get it for sure.
People ask me about Montreal, what's special about Montreal? And I say, it's the way that people integrate all together. So this team represents a little bit of that.
People always are kind of talking down, you know, to the Prairies, but we have the ballers out there.
Back in Saskatchewan, we work hard, we play for each other, and then when we come here for venues like this, we go to war.
History has been made in Canadian basketball.
From the Maritimes to the nation's capital.
I just like the sound.
Brady Cancun, my goodness.
To the 6.
Oh, big block there.
To the Prairies.
By Deshaun Henry.
All the way to British Columbia. This is the NPA.
One hand jam! All over the defense! My Lord! Goodness gracious! Campbell with the facial. Oh! E-man! Defense to offense. Cummins. That is not the guy. No way! Cummins. Oh! What's the foul? Cummins got the answer. Wow! That's another good one. There it is. Sammy Hunter. Look at this. Danilo Jiricic ending his high school career with a dagger of a spike. GTA Prep wisely feeding the hot hand. Oh, nice step back cross through. And we got Sidney Kabongo on fire right now. Oh! How about that nasty from Deshaun Henry? Stick back jam. bringing the fans to their feet, putting a man in the rim.
In transition with the cock back, one hand pounded. Woo! DeAndre Pierre all over the rim. Oh! Down the lane, Stephen Rawwire.
Everybody on their feet as Canada Top Flight Academy are the first high school age national champions in the history of Canadian basketball. History has been made in Canadian basketball.
From the Maritimes to the nation's capital.
Miller with the spike. Oh no, Franco Miller.
They're barking, they're starting to bark.
Yeah. On time, on target delivery, piping hot. Shiny dime. Franco Miller. Clock about to expire. Pull-ups 3, Franco Miller. Back out top. Franco Miller all day. About perspective, knees up top. Franco Miller having himself an afternoon in the nation's capital.
Hi, I'm Siobhan Minor and I'm mic'd up with North Pole Hoops. 1-2, Saint-Louis strong. 1-2! Saint-Louis strong! Si, au pire, on joue, faut qu'on joue fort. We gotta start hard, let's go. Prends-le, prends-la, 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 prends-la. Oh. Oh. Let's go. Sorry, sorry, sorry. He's dead, he's dead! Dead! Shoot that, box! Yeah! Let's go! Hey! That's out of here! Commence hard là, let's go. Let's go. Qu'est-ce qui va se passer? Il va juste attraper le rebond puis marquer. Yeah, je commence en bas, pour ça je monte. I wanted that, boy, I wanted that. Andrew. Oh boy. Trust me, yo, I was there. J'étais là.
It's dead, so why do you need your arm?
It's all good, it's all good, it's all good. No, it's all good.
I'm short, eh? Yeah.
400 la balle. 400 la balle. Smile, smile. Oh, no, no, no. Oh, let's go. Got it, got it, got it, got it.
Unset, jump stop, take a hop, and then go up and dunk or something.
Let's go.
Hello, North Pole. You're mic'd up, right?
Yeah, you know.
Where's the camera?
It's right behind you, bro.
Oh,
La fan. Je l'ai dit, watch the screen parce qu'ils sont verts. Steph, don't chase, don't chase. Ah! Yo, si jamais tu sens le besoin de call over pour Arnaud, just do it.
Mais le best, c'est que comme, si je beat mon joueur, je vois open lane. Après j'attaque, jump stop.
Yo.
Fait que t'es toujours open quand j'attaque.
Yeah, je sais, yo, just jump stop first and then give it to me. I got you. Don't stall. Arrête pas de dribbler. Yo, tu restes statique, posé. Hey! Go! Yes, nice hustle, nice hustle. Nice hustle! Nice hustle! Hop him up! Hop him up! Yeah! Hop him up!
Lève-le, G!
Shout out Norco Hoops, guy. My club.
Rep by rep. You push yourself. Effort is only half the battle. Doubt sets in. Why do you do it? Is it worth it? The lights turn on. All your questions are answered.
We're back, second half. 17-point lead for Crestwood. This is a team that is notorious for allowing their opponents back into the game. And the Express, coached by someone who knows how to get the most out of his guys. Trevon Thomas comes right out in the second half and cashes a Jimmy to push the lead up to 19. The first 5 minutes of this half is going to tell a lot about this game. Blumfor. My not all over it. Oh. Ooh, yeah, that's, yeah, over and back. Good call by the official. He had to register in the brain a little bit. It's a smart move, actually, by Jacoby Neath. He dribbled the ball on the right side of half, stepped out with the left side.
Remember, both feet have to be established.
Datro breaking down Thomas. Might not where he is normally seen. That far out. Ooh, Neath thought better of diving for that ball. Blumfor into the paint. No good.
And you see a lot of youthful mistakes from St. Laurent. It's just lack of experience of playing against higher levels.
Coach Russell just asked Samachi Agbabu, can you put a body on someone, please? Just
and when you ask so nicely,
you know.
Yeah.
I'm not angry, I'm disappointed. That's what that is. Miller. Yeah. Easy little hand check foul on Senni.
Wanted to put him in the ISO there. Spread the floor.
Neath. Agbapu. High-low didn't work. Senny gets it back. St. Laurent needs to get this offense going and clicking quickly. They really do not have time against this Crestwood squad because they're going to have a heck of a time trying to stop them from scoring. High-powered offense. Datro, nice head and shoulder fake. Didn't get himself into great position to finish, but a foul on my knot.
Hey, let's execute now. Come on. Cut out the foolishness.
This Crestwood coaching staff is good communicators, both to their players and within each other, being able to be inside of a couple of their huddles. Agbapu, who really hasn't had it going offensively today and has missed a couple of box-out opportunities. He can be a very important player for this team.
He can be.
But he can also just disappear. Oh, that is a big-time player for this team, Luis Pacheco. And Jacoby Neath on the other end. When this team gets stops like that and the blocks stay inbounds, it's tough to stop them. Yeah.
Ben's got to be careful with those, man. Those are just unnecessary at this point. Even if he did get it to him, Senu does not have the room on that baseline to attack. The front line of Crestwood is there and ready.
Franco Miller, the newly minted first-team NPA All-Star.
And Franco holds offers from Hofstra, St. Bonaventure, UIC, a bunch of other schools interested in it and already have offered as well. So both he and Jacoby Neath are the two players on this squad that hold NCAA offers currently.
Trevon Thomas from deep off the dish from Miller. Dwumfor. Nice pass. Andrew Keogh. Yeah, Minot really getting hit with these off-the-ball fouls.
And what started off as a very close game for one quarter is now looking similar to our previous game, SJK and the LBA.
Franco.
Although that didn't go, good spin off by Ben there, recognizing the double coverage in the paint and switching direction using the spin.
Has Jacoby Neath hit rim today?
Mostly not, no. I mean, again, NBA prospect. That's NBA prospect. Yeah, I said it.
Hey, to be able to finally see him healthy, and even without, any brace on him either. Like he's barely breaking his sweat out there right now.
31.
And that's what's special too, when you can see a player of that skill level playing alongside another player of that type of ilk. Because when they get to the next level, they're going to be playing with higher caliber players. So it's important to be able to see them play with a like-minded player.
You're right. And Jacoby being called off to substitute here. He doesn't want to. But again, another veteran decision by Coach Russell. He's reaching full health now, but you want to keep him rested for the later games, which are going to be far more important, especially when you have a lead like this.
If they hold on to this win, they will be matched up with GTA Prep tomorrow at 8 p.m.
That is going to be a barn burner. Expect a packed gym for that one.
That's an 8 p.m. game. That's what they call prime time. And that's going to be capping off just an unbelievable back half of the day tomorrow. Get down to Sheridan College in Brampton. This storm's going to be over tomorrow morning early. Get down here tomorrow. even if you can only make one game, drop down the money for that 3-day pass so that you can then take in both semis on Saturday and then the championship and consolation final on Sunday. That's called value. And what we've been so excited about when it comes to nationals this year is, yes, this is the conclusion of the second season, but it's really the jump off for season 3. Let's take a look actually at that bracket one more time, since we confused everybody so much earlier. So we haven't updated it as of yet. Alex Navarro will get on that shortly. Hope you're listening, Alex. Notre Dame sitting there as the #1 seed will be taking on Rosse Netherwood of New Brunswick. That's your 2 p.m. game. At 8 p.m., as mentioned, if Crestwood holds on to this win, they'll be taking on GTA Prep. It's NBA prospects in that game on both sides. High-level NCAA as well. Central Tech as the #2 seed could very well have been the top seed for this as well. They'll be sitting there waiting to take on TBA. It's a rivalry game right there. Those two teams play each other often and have played each other twice this year on the season. Central Tech has won both games. And then CTA will be taking on London Basketball Academy, who could rest many of their players. That's going to be a fresh LBA squad taking on the defending champs. That is your 2 through 8 o'clock matchups tomorrow. If you don't know any of these teams, just take my word for it. Those are going to be 4 absolute barn burners.
And if anyone's trying to substitute and jump in to call that game, it's not happening. I will be here. This seat is reserved.
We got a 10 and 12 o'clock tomorrow as well. Our showcase games, our 10 o'clock is set between Beast and BC Christian Prep. While SJK, who you just saw come out on the losing end against LBA, will be taking on whoever ends up on the losing end of this game, which as of right now looks like it will be St. Laurent. But those will be 2 evenly matched games as well. Beast and BC both with plenty of size, while SJK and St. Laurent will be a nice little matchup as well. And that will be your 10 and 12 o'clock games. So 6 games on the schedule for tomorrow. I think you've seen Ro Russell do the same thing that head coach Angelo Provenzano did with his LBA squad. Besides the fact that Jacoby Neath wanted to stay on, pulled him off. Franco Miller also on the bench. No. Ben Datro. Ben Datro's probably going to spend the last quarter and a half of this game trying to hit the highlight reels. Keogh pushed out of bounds along the baseline.
That's a bad foul. You don't want to pick up a foul like that. So unnecessary and away from the basket. And Kobe Antwi's frustrated with himself, and he's a really talented player, really smart player. So you can sense the frustration there. He doesn't want to come off the floor.
Just as I mentioned, now we got Jacoby Neath and Franco Miller back in the game, despite being up 34. Had this conversation with Ro the other day. He says he just gets into the flow of the game and the competitive juices are flowing, and he doesn't really know the meaning of calling the dogs off. Maybe because he's seen his team blow leads so often, he isn't ready to relax. .355 to go here left in the third quarter. Demirsu. Express are going to get it back. Gideon Twumfor trying to drop some change, but they couldn't finish. Senni gets it sent back by Pacheco. Pacheco just hanging out, swatting shots.
Great feed, man. Great feed. This game just comes too easy to a guy like Neath. He can pass it with both hands. He can wrap around. He's just got too much juice.
Over and back. Senni. Twumfor getting into the paint. Pacheco now up to, I think, 7 blocks in the game. And Neath just too easy. Switching hands, finishing with the left. Yeah, that's travel. Okio. Yeah, the Express are not going to allow Crestwood to just ride this one out. They don't care what the score is.
Should be 1 second off the shot clock. Space out, space out.
Heads up.
We don't want to start that. Why would you do that? That's disrespectful to a coach. Okay, here we go.
Little misunderstanding between Senni. Apologize to Coach Roe Russell for a little disrespectful moment there, but Coach Russell immediately said thank you after the apology. That's all he was looking for. 36-point deficit will do that to you.
You know, most.
Pacheco. Luis Pacheco. He loves swatting shots, but he wants to rip some tin. That's what he did right there.
On 12 points.
Neath still out there on the floor for Crestwood. Would expect we wouldn't see him in the fourth quarter, but what do I know?
And at this point, I would imagine that Coach Russell wants to rest up all of his starting five.
I just said that, but also said, what do I know? Because Neath and Miller came back out on the floor when I thought they were done for good.
You would think at this point, the game's pretty much wrapped up here, but maybe he'll allow them to close out the quarter.
Steven Lazar checks in for Tomartarski.
And Steven Lazar's a 2020 6'6" guard forward. He's pretty much a hybrid, and his specialty is being able to knock down that 3 ball at 6'6". Considering his youth, there's so much upside with a kid like this. As he continues to develop his body and, you know, maintain that low athletic stance, he's going to bring higher value to his team.
Minute left here in the 3rd quarter. Datro finds Keogh. Cross court. Nice move to the lane. Stéphane Basselet.
Good pronunciation there, bud.
Every so often. Oh, Neath.
I thought he was going to bang it on him.
Yeah, I think he had thoughts of that.
And on the baseline right now, you have Brendan Muntu of Halifax Prep. Now, Halifax Prep did not qualify for the tournament here, but Brendan Muntu is in town for a tryout with Grassroots. So it's likely that him and Jacoby Neath will be playing AAU ball together, which is nuts.
Ben Datro is going to take it to the rim until the final whistle blows here. He's had a long conversation with his head coach about what the strength of his game is, and he has to take it hard to the tin. He's definitely done that here today with mixed success. Thought that was good for a second. 83-47 through 3, 4th quarter for our final game of the day. It's coming up after the break. Stay with us on NorthPoleHoops.com.
Everyone has their story. What's yours? Were you born with the ball in your hands? Or were you a late bloomer? Are you a dead-eye shooter? Or a high flyer?
Throws up an alley-oop! All elbow! Williams!
Are you a leader? Or an elite role player? North Pole Hoops wants to know. What's your story?
Rep by rep. You push yourself.
We're back to live game action. Jason Tom here alongside Elias Sabate. Today was just a nice little warm-up. We got our upset, 9/8. Always like to see one upset when you're talking about a bracket. Although it was 2 teams with identical records, so.
Now, does RNS have what it takes to pull off another one?
Well, no matter what happens in that game, we saw a lot of growth with that team, even in today's game, to see what Kellen Tynes did. We continue to see what Shaheem Malcolm has done.
Got Lion McLean as well, contributed quite a bit from the perimeter,
Absolutely.
as he normally does.
So I've been impressed with that. I do like the idea that we have an East versus West, let's call it Maritime versus Prairie matchup, with Notre Dame as the #1, taking on #9 RNS.
Yeah, I don't know about an upset in that situation, man. Notre Dame is just too powerful, too focused right now.
I don't know if they're #1.
Really? I mean, Central. Okay, you got Central Tech. That's the debatable.
11-1. But then, hey, if you're talking Central Tech is supposed to be the first overall seed, then why isn't CTA? I understand that they lost the head-to-head to Central Tech, but CTA is the defending champs. Only lost 1 this season.
But CTA has not dominated like they did last year.
No, yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
and losing Kaleem Sarazin, I think, you know, like
huge.
Yeah, he's a big-time shooter for that squad. But they do have, as you mentioned, incredibly deep that CTA squad. Like Atik Jalal has been a monster the last 2 months for that squad.
And as the time winds down and players realize that, hey, I'm coming close to graduation now. I gotta really step it up if I'm not receiving interest or any offers right now.
Elijah Fisher, we haven't said that name an awful lot today. A young kid, doesn't play an awful lot of minutes at this level because he absolutely dominates at his age group, bringing him along slowly.
And when you're playing against St. Laurent, they're actually closer to his age.
Yep.
So, I mean, being able to play out a whole quarter here and show a little bit about what he could do and maybe show coach that, hey, you could play me in some of the more important games as well.
Getting back to our little chat there in GTA prep at the 4 spot. And that's a team that, I mean, is healthy at the right time. They've had AJ Lawson all year, obviously. Casey Izagu, the only player in the NPA to average a double-double, Casey Izagu.
Average a double-double.
Yeah.
Coaches, where are you at? We're talking about a dude that's 6'10", averaging a double-double, also averages 3 blocks a game, or close to 3 blocks a game, excuse me. This is a guy who has an offer on the table currently from Western Michigan. Coach Holland at Western Michigan has spent a lot of time in here recruiting Casey, and there's interest from various levels.
So, I mean, really, any of those 4 teams can find themselves in the final. Luis Pacheco continuing to take out the aggression on the rim.
Like what we're seeing from him, man. And that, as the competition gets tougher in the later rounds, you want to see him finish that emphatically.
He seems to play up to the level of his competition many a times. In some big games this year, he's put up some big numbers.
And I mentioned this very early in the season, in the first session actually in Ottawa. When they are giving him his touches, he feels more involved in the game, and that's the case with a lot of bigs.
Oh yeah.
If you just ignore them and use them only to rebound, then their energy level is going to die down. You're sucking the energy out of them.
Jonas Valanciunas.
Oh, hey, yeah, perfect example. That deep in the paint, you don't want to be making that pass. Ben Datro, just not the right decision on that play.
Not what you're expecting out of Luis Pacheco right there, picking up the ball off the dribble, trying to get something going.
He's getting excited.
There's Datro. So it looks like St. Laurent will be our 12 o'clock game, as they will be taking on SJK. Oh, banking it in. Manuseni. Datro. Kick out, Seni. Keogh. Just had nowhere to go. Shot clock violation, they had to bring it back. Everybody on that end of the floor wanted to see Steven Lazar crush it home. Pacheco. Oh, got a taste of his own medicine there with Minot sending it back.
And Minot still a youngster with so much time on his hands, so much room for development, and he's just got himself involved with the national team who has got him in the identification process. Also might be a player that we may see making it onto one of those rosters. I look at him as like a
a younger Jaden Bediako, who might even be ahead of where Jaden was at the same age.
Minot, a wonderful young man from a Haitian-Canadian background. I believe his mother's Haitian, his father's Jamaican, I believe. Montreal, large Haitian population. Reminds me a lot of Samuel D'Alembert, and I mean that in a positive way. Pacheco called for a foul on the body. Judging by Minot's reaction, it's obvious where he got that. And Luis Pacheco checks out, fouls out of this game. Had an opportunity to have a couple of rim visits, send a couple of shots back on the defensive end. Definitely made an impact in the game. Minot pure from the line on the first. Very nice stroke from the line there from Minot. Both of them, nothing but net.
Just under halfway, or just over halfway through the fourth quarter here, and Crestwood nearing the 100 mark. There's no free pizza here, but I can use some pizza right about now, Jay. Getting hungry.
Just hoping that weather out there isn't too bad.
Yeah, I don't even know what it looks like out there.
Yeah, well, we've been in here since 10:30 in the morning. That's kind of what happens. We have the Iron Lung day tomorrow with 6 games, but then we even things out and will be an enjoyable Saturday and Sunday with 4 games. Really looking forward to these matchups that we have coming up. We'll take a look at them in a second. In our next break, Keogh, who's had himself a very nice day, Minot. Ooh, just missed time. He said he wanted to throw that down on the stick back. The table and the refs working in conjunction on a string all day long. Lazar. Laddie. Lazar to William Charles. Left a little to be desired there. .328 left. Tomartarski check it in. Minot was not being fooled by the Euro step there. Going back the other way. I like what I've seen from Andrew Keogh today. Considering where he was at the beginning of the season, didn't have a lot of confidence in his shot, but he's been strong today. Minot. A lot of moving parts on that shot from range. His free throw stroke looked really nice though.
We're seeing a lot of fresh faces here on the floor for Crestwood. Coach Rowe choosing the right time to rest his guys and giving these guys an opportunity to show what they could do. Maybe earn some minutes.
That's exactly what Kashawn Laddie was trying to do right there. Crestwood on the run. Guys leaving it all out on the floor right now.
And as the bottom seeds get eliminated from championship contention, the rest of the way is looking very competitive. You talked about that 8 o'clock game tomorrow. That one's going to be something special.
The updated bracket, you'll see Rossay taking on the #1 seed Notre Dame, while GTA Prep will be taking on Crestwood out of respect for St. Laurent. We don't have them advancing as of yet. Then we have TBA taking on Central Tech, the Battle of Toronto right there, and then CTA and LBA. I can see all 4 top seeds advancing. I could also see 2 upsets out of those 4.
Good move by Gideon to get around the length there of Elijah Fisher. Or sorry, not Elijah Fisher. That's Keyshawn Laddie.
Let's go back to that bracket. I want to hear my commentators' thoughts on what we're seeing there.
So, I mean, the CTA-LBA game, that one's going to be interesting. And it's going to come down to how early can LBA build a lead before they got to start going into their bench and getting... CTA is going to try to exhaust them early on. They're going to try to press them. Now, can LBA handle the pressure? Yes, they can handle the full court pressure, but what that's going to lead to is fatigue down the stretch, especially having played today, having to play tomorrow. Now, the other thing, we talked about this earlier, the matchup between Josh and Kumsa, a 2018 big / forward, and David Mwila.
But how does LBA overcome really being smaller at every position?
Well, Kerr Jalkush is a huge help. He's going to protect the rim.
That,
But if both him and Josh get into foul trouble early, now it's a different ballgame.
And now we like to talk about LBA and the fact that they can shoot from range, especially with the way Ahmed Othman has been playing as a defensive specialist, but now a 3-and-D guy. Like CTA, I think collectively is the best shooting team in the league.
Yeah.
Up and down their roster.
I mean, and with Kaleem, Sarah's not in the lineup. I think it takes away a little bit from their efficiency. But yes, even without him, they're still up there. I think the key for LBA is you gotta go at David Mwila as much as possible early on and try to get him into some trouble.
And he's a guy you can get under his skin.
Exactly. And you got to be smarter psychologically. You got to play that game.
This is an LBA squad. LBA, really, if LBA is the closest thing to Central Tech that we have in this league.
Fair. Yeah, fair.
Just like the getting under the skin, the defensive presence. Central Tech, TBA, I mean, I think that would be a big upset if TBA could beat Central Tech from everything we've seen this season. But Crestwood, GTA Prep.
Crestwood, GTA Prep.
Like, who are you taking there?
That's going to be a good one. That I don't even know.
Like, if you take A.J. Lawson out of that game, you're putting an awful lot of pressure on Joshua Houghton. Like, Casey Zagu isn't going to, he's not going to score you a bunch of points. He's going to get what he gets, clean up.
Yeah. I mean that's a tough one to predict. That is going to be a really good game. If you could be here live and in person, the environment in here is going to be a lot different than what you see on your screen right now. This gym is going to be packed.
And then you could see a Crestwood Notre Dame semi-final, which would be amazing. The matchups on those two teams.
I'm always wondering, and I've been thinking about this. Yesterday, I'm sitting in bed and I'm just kind of going over the matchups. Now, in the Crestwood and GTA potential, I'm like, is AJ Lawson that guy? Can he carry them all the way to a national championship? And if so, that boosts his stock in a major way at the college level and at the NBA level, because he's had the clutch gene. And I do believe that it is a gene. I do believe that players, you either got it or you don't. You're nervous in the moment or you're not. You get flustered or you don't. And I do believe that AJ's the type of player that can take them. You got Hafith Moalen as well for GTA. He's been playing out of his mind. I can guarantee. Well, can I? Yes. Screw it. I'm going to guarantee.
Hafith Moalen is going to walk out of this tournament with options, several options at the U Sports level. If you're a coach that's looking for a starting point guard, he's a guy that can come in right now and produce right off the bat. He'll show us all that tomorrow.
Very curious on that Crestwood GTA Prep matchup. Two healthy squads. Two great coaches who talked into the wee hours of the morning after our AGM yesterday.
Yeah, we were in the office last night until about 1 in the morning, just talking hoops, talking matchups, talking the industry, the Canadian basketball industry, because it still is in its infancy. When you talk about industry in the States, we're talking about billions of dollars being invested and being made. In Canada, that's unheard of. In Canada, it's still all being put together. This whole prep scene is only 2 to 3 years old, as an example. Whereas you look in the States, we're talking 50 years plus.
15 on the clock. Keogh, no good. Minot brings it down. Patting some stats right now. 4.3 on the clock. So a reminder, tomorrow, 6 games, 10 a.m., Showcase, Beast, BC. Followed up by our second Showcase game, St. Laurent, SJK. 2 p.m. game, the Notre Dame Hounds versus Rothsay Netherwood School out of New Brunswick. That's Saskatchewan versus New Brunswick. Then we got the Central Tech Blues taking on the Toronto Basketball Academy. Battle of Toronto. Then we have Canada Top Flight Academy, the defending champs, taking on LBA, the team that went all the way to the finals and lost to CTA last year.
That's right.
It's a rematch of the finals.
Yep, and they've been climbing all season long. So,
and then finally GTA Prep taking on Crestwood. Thank you for joining us today. We'll see you tomorrow. Come down to Sheridan College in Brampton. 3-day pass, going to get you some outstanding games. And if not, if you're not in the area, join us. All games will be live streamed. Thank you. See you tomorrow.